Welcome back to Simple Truth. We're trying to make some simple truths out of the truth, which is the Word of God. Hey, we're in 1 Samuel. We're in chapter 25. We're going to start in verse 14. We've been on this story of Abigail that I told you is one of my favorite stories, right? And it says this starting in verse 14. But one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, Behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to greet our master, and he railed at them. Yet the men were very good to us, and we suffered no harm. We did not miss anything when we were in the fields, as long as we went with them. They were a wall to us, both by day and night, all the while we were with them keeping the sheep. Now therefore, know this, consider what you should do, for harm is determined against our master and against all of his house, and he is such a worthless man that one cannot speak to him. Well, there's a lot in this section, right? There's a lot in these verses. The first one is that the servants of the master come to the wife because they know they're in trouble, and they tell her truth. They don't just go with the truth of the master and make that their truth. They know the truth. Man, this comes in handy in lots and lots of situations. There are moments where we are sitting listening to somebody talking. We know the truth. And their version of the truth is not what happened. I find that all the time after church meetings or different types of ministry moments or encounters within the church. There are lots of times where somebody's take on it. Hey, they go home and they tell their wife, I got beat up today by everybody. That's not at all what happened. So for us to know the truth is important. And it can be the truth separate from what our pastor thinks, what our elders think. Right? Again, it might not be untainted, but there are times when we're sitting and we are listening to something going on and we know that it's just not truth. When we are gossiping and we're listening to somebody destroy another person and we know it's not truth. We know that it shouldn't be said, shouldn't be done that way. We have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to stand up and say, that's not true. What you're saying is not truth. God is super clear on a whole bunch of things. So when you're in a conversation with people, if someone is trying to present to you the fact that somebody is a terrible, awful, rotten person and they are worthless in nature and they belong in prison because of what they've done or they belong kicked out of the church or all these things, your response, right, should be about what is true. Think on whatever is true. Work on whatever is truth and be willing to present that no matter the cost. Understand when people, just like in this story, are somehow bent and determined to bring destruction on a place. Listen, when you're sitting at a place and you're listening to somebody destroy somebody else in words and you do nothing, you know where that's going. God's going to judge people. So there's a lot of times when we are sitting around in moments and we know what's going to happen because of a result of what is going on right now. When you listen to people coming up against the anointed of God in an inappropriate way, you know that that's not going to go well. When you listen to people slander and defame other people in the church, you know that's not going to go well. When you listen to people who are obviously jealous, trying to cause division, cause factions within the church, you know that that's not going to go well. You can look at it and say, these people are determined to bring destruction upon us as a church. We got to do something about this whole thing, right? And again, they're very willing to say, we can't talk. We can't talk to our boss. We can't talk to our owner. We can't talk, right, to our master. He's not talkable. That's super important as well. There are a lot of people that are walking around that are not approachable. We're not able to tell them the things that we should be able to tell them. And even if we told them, they're not going to listen. That brings about things from God when we're unwilling to do those things. So you are somewhere probably in this story. You are either Nabal, the bad master, you're Abigail, his wife, you're the servants right now, you're the men of David who came and they just asked for what was appropriate. It's important. It's important that if you find yourself in this story, that you react in such a way that God is going to be pleased with you. The servants of David, they're just doing what David asked them to do. The servants of Nabal, well, they come out and they're proactive for the whole betterment of the whole group. Hey, we're all going to die here. We got to fix this. So what's your part in this story? Where do you find yourself? Are you willing to tell truth no matter what? Are you willing to save those around you rather than just sit and watch things fall apart? Are you willing to say, hey, that's just simply not true? What are you willing to do for your family, which is the extended family, not just the church, not just your immediate family as well? We'll see you next time right here, Simple Truth.